The readings will now be given by Craig from New Jersey.
The Bible, Psalms. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. Acts. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest, and desired him letters to Damascus to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man. But they led him by the hand, and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and hath seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in, and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. And Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. And Ananias went his way and entered into the house, and putting his hands on him said, Brother Saul, the Lord, even Jesus, that appeared unto thee in the way as thou camest, has sent me, that thou mightest receive thy sight, and be filled with the Holy Ghost. And immediately there fell from his eyes, as it had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized. And when he had received meat, he was strengthened. Then was Saul certain days with the disciples which were at Damascus, and straightway he preached Christ in the synagogues, that he is the Son of God. Philippians. Therefore, my brethren, dearly beloved and longed for, my joy and crown, so stand fast in the Lord, my dearly beloved. And correlative passages from Miscellaneous Writings in Science and Health by Mary Baker Eddy. The article, Christian Theism. Scholastic theology elaborates the proposition that evil is a factor of good, and that to believe in the reality of evil is essential to a rounded sense of the existence of good. This frail hypothesis is founded upon the basis of material and mortal evidence, only upon what the shifting mortal senses confirm and frail human reason accepts. The science of soul reverses this proposition, overturns the testimony of the five erring senses, and reveals in a clearer divinity the existence of good only, that is, of God and His idea. This postulate of divine science only needs to be conceded to afford opportunity for proof of its correctness and the clearer discernment of good. Seek the Anglo-Saxon term for God, and you will find it to be good. Then define good as God, and you will find that good is omnipotence, has all power, it fills all space, being omnipresent. Hence, there is neither place nor power left for evil. Divest your thought, then, of the mortal and material view which contradicts the ever-presence and all power of good. Take in only the immortal facts which include these. And where will you see or feel evil, or find its existence necessary, either to the origin or the ultimate of good? It is urged that from his original state of perfection, man has fallen into the imperfection that requires evil through which to develop good. Were we to admit this vague proposition, the science of man could never be learned. For in order to learn science, we begin with the correct statement, with harmony and its principle. And if man has lost his principle and its harmony, from evidences before him, he is incapable of knowing the facts of existence and its concomitants. Therefore, to him, evil is as real and eternal as good, God. This awful deception is evil's umpire and empire, that good, God, understood, forcibly destroys. What appears to mortals from their standpoint to be the necessity for evil is proved by the law of opposites to be without necessity. Good is the primitive principle of man, and evil, good's opposite, has no principle and is not and cannot be the derivative of good. Thus evil is neither a primitive nor a derivative, but is suppositional. In other words, a lie that is incapable of proof, therefore wholly problematical. The science of truth annihilates error, deprives evil of all power, and thereby destroys all error, sin, sickness, disease, and death. But the sinner is not sheltered from suffering from sin. He makes a great reality of evil, identifies himself with it, and fancies he finds pleasure in it, and will reap what he sows. Hence the sinner must endure the effects of his delusion until he awakes from it. From Science and Health of Key to the Scriptures. Whoever opens the way in Christian Science is a pilgrim and stranger, marking out the path for generations yet unborn. The perfect mind sends forth perfection, for God is mind. Imperfect mortal mind sends forth its own resemblances, of which the wise man said, all is vanity. This text in the book of Ecclesiastes conveys the Christian Science thought, especially when the word duty, which is not in the original, is omitted. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter: fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. End quote. In other words, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter: love God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole of man in his image and likeness. Divine love is infinite. Therefore, all that really exists is in and of God, and manifests his love. If you launch your bark upon the ever-agitated but healthful waters of truth, you will encounter storms. Your good will be evil spoken of. This is the cross. Take it up and bear it, for through it you win and wear the crown. Pilgrim on earth, thy home is heaven. Stranger, thou art the guest of God. Even in this world, therefore, let thy garments be always white.